Um, this example goes over squaring a binomial, and it's because it says you've got a 3x minus 8 in parentheses, and then it's raised to the second power. Well, that just means when you square something, like if I wrote a squared, that really means a times a. So if I have a 3x minus 8 squared, that means take the 3x minus 8 times itself. And at this point, I could just use the FOIL method, which in a previous example, I went over that. And the FOIL method would be take your first times your first, 3x times 3x, that is 9x squared. And then take your last, which is outsides. The 3x is the farthest to the left, and you multiply that times the minus 8, which is farthest to the right, and that is a minus 24x. And then I go to my insides, and the insides are this negative 8 times this positive 3x, which also gives you a negative 24x. And then, of course, last times last, I think I used purple. I would like purple. Last times last, that would be the negative 8 times this negative 8. And negative 8 times negative 8 is a positive 64. And my outsides and insides are like terms. The only difference is they're identical. They're both negative 24x's. So it's kind of a special case because your outsides and insides end up being kind of special. They're the same. And that would end up being a negative 48x. And then you still have the 9x squared as the first term, and the plus 64 is the last term. And that's your answer. Now, some books will give you this little formula. Actually, there's two of them. They'll have a plus b squared, and then they'll say that that is an a squared plus a 2ab plus a b squared. And then they give you the other one, which is a minus b squared, which is an a squared minus 2ab plus a b squared. And you can memorize that if you want. You can use it if you want. But when you're squaring a binomial, you can just use the FOIL method. But what they'll tell you is to make this work, let me try to use a highlighter on this one. How about pink? They tell you to take whatever is right here, the a, and they say, okay, just square that. Take the first term and square it. And then at the other end, I'll use blue, back here where they have a b squared, they're saying just take whatever's right here and square it. Now the inside term's a little trickier. You've got this 2ab. Well, when I took, okay, let me try to highlight the colors here up in my example. Your 3x minus 8, this was my a, and when I took 3x times 3x, a times a, I took 3x times the 3x right there. I essentially took a 3x and squared it, and that gave me this 9x squared.